Do these 6 things with your money right after you arrive in the United States so you can start on a good, solid footing. So, the very first thing that you need to do is to open a checking account and a savings account. This is where your salary will be deposited, usually on a bi weekly basis. So, every other week, every 2 weeks, usually on a Friday, you will get your money deposited to your account. So, take note of the routing number and the account number, and you will get that at the bank when they show you like a sample check that will contain those two numbers. And when choosing a bank, you gotta choose a bank with a good network of branches and a good history of stability. It's kind of scary when you think about all the banks that have been folding in 2022 and in 2023, and the instability in the financial system. But if you choose a bank that has a good solid history and a good network of branches, you should be covered. And there's also insurance, I think, for up to 250,000 US dollars. But don't quote me on that. Research that and make it a part of your decision making process for where to open a checking and savings account. When opening your bank account, you will also need your social security number, usually, and they will give you a debit card. Usually, this could be a Visa or a MasterCard. And if you decide not to get a credit card, that's fine. You can use your debit card for shopping, for paying your groceries, for paying your bills online, your electric bill, your rent, and many other things that you need to pay for. Because remember, in the US, you gotta pay for so many things. Number two, open one credit card. I know that there are people who do not believe in credit cards, they do not want to be in debt, but you will need to build your credit score. And sometimes the best way to do that is to open a credit card, but make sure that you understand the importance of paying what you spend every single month. If you are going to keep your balances high, you are going to be hit by high interests. But if you are responsible in using your credit cards, you put all your groceries, your gas, and then pay it off at the end of the month or by the due date, you will not incur any interests or any other fees. But now, the benefit for this is if you are going to earn points for your favorite airlines, like in my case, I was earning points with Delta Sky Miles. And so I applied for an American Express card, and that became like my go-to card that enables us to build up the miles, which then we were able to use to pay part of our flights for our vacation to the Philippines. Now, because your credit score will not be high at first, one thing that you could do is to check with your bank if they offer like a secured credit card where you make a deposit of $300 or $500 in a separate savings account, and then they will issue you a credit card. Now, after maybe about 6 months, and you have shown that you use your card, you pay for it, and that you are a responsible user of credit card, then they will close down the savings account, refund your money, and then let you use the credit card without the security of a savings account. Number three is to start monitoring your credit score. And in the US, there's so many things that you can do with your credit score. And if you plan on buying a house in the future with a mortgage, you definitely need to monitor your credit score. Don't worry at first because you're a newbie. You're beginning a new life here in the US. So your credit score will be very low at first. I think some maybe 320. And if you're gonna go and buy a car and they will run your credit, it's gonna be low. But you still need to monitor that so that you can get it better, you can get it higher. So sign up at creditkarma.com. You will need to produce and to share and put in your social security number in order to monitor your credit score. And then every month you gotta take note of how your score is doing. Number four, come up with a budget and stick to that budget. It really helps if you have a good understanding of how much you are going to spend on any given month. And I think about a year or two, maybe 2 years ago, I have created a video that shows you how to check the average spending in your area using your zip code or using your city where you're living. So check out this link here or in the description below, and you can get access to this expense calculator that's providing the monthly expenses in your area. And based on that, you can make your own budget and make adjustments. Because if you are making 5,000 US dollars and you're spending 6,000 US dollars, you are gonna be buried in debt. And that's one thing that you should not do while here in the US. Number 5, start investing through your company's 401k or 403b or any other type of retirement fund. So when you sign up your papers for your employment, your HR should inform you about retirement fund options. And sometimes it's mandatory and you need to say that you don't want that. So ask about 401k or 403b or other type of retirement funds. And if you can, maximize your contributions to the amount that your employer is matching. So for example, if you are making $4,000 a month and your employer says that they are going to match up to 4% of your salary, so 4% of $4,000 is $160. So you will contribute $160. And your employer will also contribute another $160. So that's a total of $320 every single month. And this money will then be used to invest in, say, stocks or index funds. And you can set your level of investment aggressiveness, whether you want to be conservative, you don't want to lose money, whether you are moderate or you want to be aggressive. Now, if you want bigger returns, you got to go aggressive, but take note that it could be, it could be risky and you can lose money. So I would also like to say this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing this based on my own experience and for educational purposes. So do check your options, but make sure to start saving for your retirement. Another caveat is that you will only be able to withdraw this money when you retire. So if you need some money 5 years from now, 10 years from now, maybe you should be exploring other investment options. But if you plan to be in the US for at least 15 years, 20 years, then it makes sense to start investing in your retirement. Lastly, don't go into debt. For some people, it's very tempting to buy all the gadgets, all the fancy clothes, all the fancy stuff, all the expensive cars. Please don't do it. As a new immigrant, it can be difficult to adjust to a new country, and sometimes the money that you will make may not be too high. But if you manage your budgets well, if you manage your investment well, you will be in a better place financially 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And make sure that you watch out your lifestyle. Do not live a lavish lifestyle unless you can afford it. If you are making 100,000 a year, 200,000 a year, I mean, by all means, go on vacations, buy all the nicest stuff. But please do not go into debt. It is very hard to go into debt here in the US, and some of those debt are going to be there, and it will be a liability for you, and it will impact the kind of life that you want to live and the kind of help that you can provide to your family, whether they are here with you in the US or they're back in the Philippines.